Well, well, who's a lucky boy then? It's another DeAgostini box, but this time it's not a 1/6 scale Mustang. Oh no. No, this is a 1/8 scale Ferrari. It's a 1/8 scale Ferrari 330 P4 prototype. Absolutely beautiful model from DeAgostini in 1/8 scale. And this is going to sit alongside my Porsche 917 beautifully. And here we go. So this is the first two parts of the build. DeAgostini have been good enough to send me this. So very, very grateful to them for that. In the description below this video, just down below, not in the comments, in the description right below, there will be a link. If you click on that link, it will take you to the DeAgostini website and you can find out all about going to build your own. So please click on that link and have a look. That lets them know how many people are watching this and going there, being sent there by me, if you like. So here we go. This is the introductory letter. So welcome to the Ferrari 330 P4 build-up collection. We're glad you've joined us and are sure you'll love this thrilling adventure. Well, I'm certainly loving the Mustang, so I see no reason why I won't love this one. And I know a lot of you are loving it too. Each month you receive packages containing assembly stages of your Ferrari 330 P4 build-up model, as well as exclusive gifts created especially for this offer, all delivered directly to your door. Each package will be shipped once your subscription payment has been processed each month. Remember, you can visit DeAgostini.com to manage purchases and subscriptions quickly and easily. Check the state of your packages at any time. Update or modify your personal data, your payment method, your delivery address, and much more. If you don't want to miss out on any DeAgostini news, please visit our website and subscribe to our newsletter. And don't forget, please use the link below to go to the website. So there we go. And there it is. This is the Ferrari 330 P4. You can see it's a beautiful looking racing car. It's an endurance racer, endurance racer even, and it's got all sorts of working features and everything, which we're going to cover in a minute. So the first box comes with two parts. So we've got part one, see 01 up in the top right hand corner, and we've got a door, a steering wheel, we've got a screwdriver, some screws, a headlamp by the look of it. Looks like we've got another light in there. We've got some light lenses, so that's all looking very, very nice. And then part two is a tyre. Looks like it's probably a front tyre, maybe a rear tyre. Some wheel outer and the inner wheel rim. We've got some more screws in there and got some disc brakes. And then we've got the centre lock for the wheel there. These just had one centre lock to lock the wheel on. And then down in here we have three magazines. We'll get the box out the way. Put the box down on the floor. I expect Dottie will get hold of it in a minute. So this is our introductory magazine. So in here we have build the Ferrari 330 P4, the most beautiful racing car of all time. Well, certainly one of my most beautiful, but I guess making a statement like that is a bit subjective to who's looking at it. So yeah, it's absolutely a beautiful car, got a fantastic history, and you can read all about it in this magazine when you get yours. It's an authentic 1/8 scale masterpiece. It has a Ferrari engine, 12-cylinder, 60-degree V12, fully accessible, so you can lift that big clamshell and look inside. We've got the spare wheel in the back, and there should be some sort of parcel shelf as well, I can imagine. They had to be able to carry luggage, have a passenger seat, and a spare wheel. So we've got headlights which are working. We've got a backlit dashboard, functioning doors, hood, and trunk, or bonnet. To us English people. And then we've got rubber tyres, metal wheels, and we've got sound and lights effect activated by remote control. So we've got a remote controller there. Looks like we've got indicators. We'll have a horn. We'll have engine starting, stopping probably, and all sorts of different bits and pieces in there. Same as the Mustang's going to have all that. So you'll see it on the Mustang first. So we can enjoy the most beautiful racing car of all time, reproduced in 1/8 scale. In each magazine, as you know, with the magazines you'll see with the Mustang, you get stories of motor racing stories of Ferrari. There'll be stories of famous drivers and all sorts in there. And it's always great to look. And quite often we see some lovely photos and information that we've never seen or heard of before. So here we go, the Ferrari 330 P4, an exclusive masterpiece in perfect reproduction of the 330 P4 that triumphed at the Daytona of 24 hours in 1967. This metal-bodied model is complete with all its mechanical components. The powerful 12-cylinder engine, suspension, and auxiliary components are faithfully reproduced in maximum detail and can be accessed through the functioning trunk, hood and windows. It's going to have a length of 538.4 millimeters long, which is massive. It's 125 millimeters high and it's 234 millimeters wide. So we've got some gifts. So the first gift is going to be coming, I believe, with the next lot of magazines. So this is a slip to keep the magazines in, which is very handy, keeps them very neat and tidy. Second gift is a screw box, a practical toolbox for storing the parts for your Ferrari 330. And then the third gift is a Ferrari cap, the official Scuderia Ferrari cap. So that'll be very nice to own. And then on the back here, you got upgrade to a premium offer. So if you pay a little bit extra every month, you get it with the display case at the end as well. And then if you pay with PayPal, you get a special gift, a 1/24 scale replica of a Ferrari 330 P4, which will be about this big. So that'll be very nice. So that's the magazine. As I say, down in the description below this video, you will get information about the model and how you can go along and get yourself one. And there they are. There's the three of them after winning Daytona. I think it was in '67, was it? I think. So here we go. So issue 1, we have the normal sort of thing we're going to do with the magazines. Have a look through the magazines. We always do that on my channel. We always have a good look through the magazines before we do any building at all. So here we've got English language adaptation, USA, published by DeAgostini, publishing USA, Park Avenue, New York. We've got UK, which is Carter Lane in London, and then we've got all the other European countries there, printed in Italy. Original edition Ferrari 330 P4 2023, 2024, DeAgostini, all rights reserved. And then we've got customer services for the UK, USA, Germany and Poland. We've got notes to our readers there, warnings about reproduction of the magazine, and produced under license of Ferrari SPA. The name Ferrari, the prancing horse device, all associated logos and distinctive designs, including the design of the Ferrari cars, are property of Ferrari SPA. So, every newspaper in the world carried the news. 3 Maranello cars had crossed the finish line of the Daytona 24 hours in Ford country, avenging the route they had suffered at Le Mans. The route they had suffered at Le Mans the previous year. For the GT40 Mark II's victims of mechanical problems, it was a defeat. So Daytona 67, and there you can see the 3 cars there crossing the line. So absolutely brilliant. Primo, secondo, terzo. So first, second, third. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. And you can see there's a restored 330 there, because I can see there's a modern car in the background. That can't be 67. No, that is a Ford GT, sorry. I'll shut up. I'll shut my mouth. Ford GT40, should I say. And there we go. You can see GT40s here. There's a chaparral. That's the word I couldn't think of. Characterised by its huge rear wing, dominated the early stages of the race before ending up in the low wall of a high bend. And there we go. Another Ford GT40 there. So the official results, this I was browsing through earlier. This is amazing. So first, second and third were Ferrari 330s and 412s. And they did 666, 663 and 637 laps respectively. In fourth place was Siffert and Herman in a Porsche 910, and they did 618 laps. So they did nearly 50 laps more in the Ferrari than they did in the fourth place car. That's incredible. And the highest place for GT40 was Thompson and Hicks at 601 laps in sixth place. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. And there we go. There they are, all starting the race. You can see there's that chaparral way up there in front. And there's their model there, number 23. So the legendary race circuit Daytona, absolutely brilliant. It's got 105,000 seats and 60 prestige boxes. So here you can see, here's the contents of our set, of our kit. And this is the contents of part 1. So we've got in here, we've got a steering wheel, steering column, got lots of bits and pieces. We've got some screws and bolts. Now I'm going to cover in a minute. We've got different screws here. So we've got AM screws and AP. AM is a metal screw, M for metal. AP is a plastic screw, and I don't know if you can see it there. P for plastic, sorry. But there, this has got a machine screw thread, this has actually got like a self-tapper screw, so this will go directly into the plastic. That's designed to go straight into the metal. Now what I like to do is cut a thread for the screw to go in. Something I always do on all my models. You don't have to do it, but you can if you want. You can get these screws, they tell you the size. It's an M1.7. I'm going to have a look in a minute and just check the pitch. But I think it's probably an M1.7 by 0.35, which is a standard M1.7 thread. And then we've got the P screws here, which is 1.7 again. And we've got 2 spares of those. We've got 1 spare of that one. I must say, I don't quite understand when they talk back in that last magazine about us having the screw box, because with DeAgostini they always give you the screws with the kit, so maybe it's going to be to keep your spare screws in, I don't know. At the moment I keep mine in a jar. There's the screws for the Mustang there, you can see, and I've got another jar here labelled already. Where have I done with it? I thought I had another jar here I'd already labelled up Ferrari, so wherever that's gone, make another one. So we're going to, we've got quite a lot to do in this magazine, plus I'm going to talk about thread cutting. So first things first, we'll get our packet open for number 1. So we'll get the light on because we finished with the magazine. We'll get the light on so you can see what we're doing. The easiest way I find to open these packets, always cut away from yourself. Stick a knife in the side and just cut away, staying flush with the cardboard. And that way the cardboard can go in the recycling. Okay. Cardboard can go in the recycling and the plastic can go in the recycling as a separate item, so you don't have to throw it all in the bin. With the two glued together, they're non-recyclable, aren't they? There we go. So that's separated from that. Just going to get that corner. Why is that corner being such a absolute pig? Oh, right. Oh, come on. There we go. It's worth a bit of effort for your recyclability, and on the back there we've got some information, so that can go in the recycling in the cardboard, and then this can go in the recycling in the plastic. Now you may want to keep these boxes for storing your parts in. We shall see how we go. We probably want to keep it for that door, don't we? So we'll keep that lid, won't throw it away just yet. So in here we can see we've got all our parts. Now we've got a screwdriver as well, which is a nice touch, and we've got a little Ferrari emblem there, no doubt that's for the centre of the steering wheel. There's a little light lens in there as well. Now I'm just looking at these metal screws, and yes, they look like they are a 0.35 thread. So we will be doing some thread cutting, and I'll explain that to you and show you that as we go. So, just checking our parts. It would appear they're all there. There's no empty spaces. The only empty spaces where I took the screwdriver out. With these, this is great with these bubble packs. If there's an empty space, it's obvious there's a part missing. But there are no empty spaces. So, using the instructions, take the following components and place them on a work surface from left to right. So you want the steering wheel, AD. We want a screw, an AM screw. So open this little bag. These little bags are great to keep hold of. So I'm not going to use the provided screwdriver. I'm going to use my own screwdriver. Okay, so that's going to go there. We want the steering wheel badge 1D. Sorry, I got that wrong, didn't I? So we got this one here. So we'll open this little baggie up and get that one out. Okay. Then we've got the steering column. Where's my tweezers? Here's a pair of tweezers. We're going to get the steering column out. So that's going there. We want an AM screw. Where did I put those screws? There it is, they're right in front of me, look at that. Can't see for looking. So we want another AM screw. And then we want part 1C, which is this little part here, which is the other side of the steering column. So what we're going to do, push link 1C onto the column 1B. So push link 1C onto column 1B and secure it with an AM screw. So we're going to take this piece here. Let's get these instructions out of the way. We're going to take this piece here and we're going to pin that into there, just like so. And then we're going to turn it over, and we can see in here we've got a hole. Now, I'm just going to try something. I'm going to try putting this screw in without cutting any threads. Now, what some people do is put a drop of oil on the screw. Whoops, I managed to tip the screw over then. What some people do is put a drop of oil on the screw. It makes it easier to go in. And that is going in quite easily without cutting a thread. So if we don't have to cut a thread, I won't. Okay, so that's gone together there. We just pull that straight. So that's gone together there quite nicely, as you can see. Okay, and then what we're going to do there is take the steering wheel 1A, and there is a rectangular groove on the underside into which the corresponding end of column 1B will fit. Fix the column in place with the second AM screw, then press on the badge 1D, taking care to orientate the horse emblem as shown. So we've got you can see there's two flats on here. There's two flats on there, so that's just going to slot in there like that. We're going to take this other AM screw, put that onto the screwdriver, and we'll see how easy that goes in. And that one's going in very easily as well, so I'm not going to worry too much about tapping threads at the moment. Actually, saying that, that one has gone quite tight. We just keep going in. There we are, and that's gone in like that. That's still not in. This is one of the problems I find with not cutting the threads. It's difficult to feel when the screw is actually tight because you're using so much effort to cut the thread with the screw. That's still not tight in there. There we go, that's done it now. No, it hasn't. This is the trouble, you see. This is where I like to tap my threads. So what I'm going to do is take this out of here, just like so. Okay, and what I've got here is a little set of taps. In this tap set there is no 1.7, but 1.6 is a very common size, and 1.6 has the same thread pitch, which means the threads are the same distance apart from each other. So what I'm going to do is take this 1.6 tap. Okay, I'm going to put this box to one side. You can find these anywhere on Amazon or whatever. And then rather than using the tap wrench provided, I'm going to use what's called a pin vise. You don't have to use this type of pin vise, you could use any old one. And just hold that. And the reason I'm using this rather than a tap wrench is because the tap is so small, I'm concerned that it will, I can easily snap it with the tap wrench. So all I'm doing is going in here, cutting a thread. You see I go one turn forward, half a turn back, and then it reaches the end and it stops. Okay, so we'll come back, blow it out, tap it out, whatever. Okay, and then we can put our screw onto there, wind that screw, and you can see now how much easier that goes in. I can hold the steering column and screw it in. I don't need to hold the steering wheel, and that is a far better solution. So just pull that down, there we go, and now that's nice and snug, and that's a far better way to do it. What I always say is if you went to B&Q or Harbour Freight and you bought yourself an M8 bolt and an M8 nut, and the M8 nut had no thread, you wouldn't try and turn the M8 nut. You either cut a thread in it or go and get one that's got the thread cut. So that's what I'm saying. So this here is going to press in, and we've got to make sure we have the Ferrari emblem the right way. So we're going to have the prancing horse prancing away, okay, and make sure that he's prancing in the right direction. So the best way to do that is to grab a pair of tweezers, hold it like that, okay, and then we'll get it like that. And we'll just push that in. I'm not sure if it's going to need a drop of glue or not. But I've got a wooden stick here. I'm going to use a wooden stick so I don't damage anything. Yeah, you need a little bit of pressure just to push that in. There you go, that's gone in beautifully. So there's our steering wheel Looking lovely. Right, what's next? Take the low beam brackets, we'll put that to one side. I'm going to move these taps out of the way because I think, yes, we've got no more thread cutting to do. So I'll take my 1.6 mil tap out of there, put that back in its box. And there we go, put the cover back on. And there we are. As I say, you get away with a 1.6. You've got M1.7 screws. If you've got a set of taps like this, you probably haven't got a 1.7, you've got a 1.6 and a 1.8. The only difference between 1.6 and 1.87 is 0.1, which is 0.04 of an inch, which is the same size as one of the hairs on your head. So you can use an M1.6, it's got the same thread pitch, it's 0.35, so don't use the 1.8 because that's a different pitch. So use a 1.6 and it'll screw in absolutely fine. Right, so take the low beam bracket, 1L. Is it 1I or 1L? It's 1I, it's not 1L, it's 1I. It's that one, it's the big one, not the small one. Duh. Idiot. Right. The dish has 2 holes under lug. Assemble the dish on 1I by attaching the lugs to the holes, photo A. Take the low beam lens. Okay, this is something after. So we've got 2 holes there. And we've got 2 pins in here. You can see in here there are 2 pins and a sort of socket, and here we've got 2 holes and a pin. So those 2 pins will line up with the 2 holes, and the socket at the top will line up with the bit at the top. Hang on, here we go. You can just see from behind what's going on. There we are. So that will squeeze in there. Try not to touch the lens and get any finger marks on it. Okay, so that's just pushed in there. Take the low beam lens 1G. So I'll show you a little trick here. If you don't want to tip the whole thing upside down, just grab a little piece of blue tack. Okay, make it into a sausage, and then you can get the part out like that. There you go. So take the lens to make sure the lug on the side of the dish, press the lens into the dish, photo C. So we've got a little tiny lug on there, and that's going to go into that little gap in there, and I'm just going to push that in. Is it going to stay in there? Or does it need a drop of glue? That's amazing. That's incredible. Very good. Take the light bracket 1F, that's the one I had just now. No, it's not. Light bracket 1F, which is that one there. And 2 AP screws. Where's our AP screws? They're in here still. So we'll grab 2 of these out of here. 1, 2. Okay. Insert the assembled light into the bracket from the rear. Check the orientation of the pattern on the lens before fixing the part, photo B. Complete the assembly with the 2 AP screws in photo C. So what we're going to do, we're going to make sure this lens is the right way up. So it's not actually telling us which way it's going. I'm assuming that is the right way up, and that is the right way up. You can see the letters on the left hand side here of the lens. So that's going to go like that. Okay. I should have pre-armed a screw. There we go, that one's going to go in there. So just screw it in a couple of turns, don't go screwing it in completely. And then that one's going to go into there, like so. I'm going to make sure this is all lined up square. So that one's going in like that. And then this one's going in like that. So there's one of our headlamps fitted, and that looks very nice indeed, I must say. Look at the lovely pattern on the lens. It's really nice. If it's like that all the way through, it's going to be a beautiful model. Okay, and then we're on to step 4. Take the headlight housing 1E and 4 AP screws. Blimey, we need 4 of them now. So we'll get 4 of these out. So there's 4. Okay, and then we're going to take this part here, insert the assembled light from step 3 into the housing and secure it with 4 AP screws, tighten them on the inside, photo C. So this is basically going to slip onto the back here. You can see now where we're going to be putting LEDs. So that is going to slip. This here is going inside. So that's going in like that. Okay, so it's no struggle to fit whatsoever. You get a lovely black, completely black enclosed headlamp, which is really nice. Once again, I should have armed the screwdriver. So we'll put a screw in there first, just put it in a couple of turns. Then we'll grab another one. Just a couple of turns, just like so. Then the same again on the bottom. Notice I'm not doing anything up because that allows everything to be located nice and smoothly without any force. So now you can see this is all located in here, but it can all still move around. We're not having to launch any screws in. Okay, so there's that one in there. That one in there. And there we go. So that's that all done. So there's a lovely, really nice headlamp assembly. And I think that is, oh no, we've got more to do. Take the turn signal lens 1M and push the turn signal frame 1N, photo A, sorry, and take the turn signal lens 1M and the turn signal frame 1N. So we've got the turn signal frame here, so we'll grab that with a pair of tweezers. We've got, is there a tiny, no, they've decided to put that little tiny little lens in this back. I expect it was getting lost or something. So we'll take this tiny little lens out. So it's obviously going to have an orange LED. Okay, push 1M into 1N from behind. Check the positioning notches are correctly aligned to ensure that the lens is correctly positioned in the frame. Press the turn signal onto the headlamp housing 1E in photo C. So we've got little cutouts in the side of this lens, tiny little cutouts, so they're going to slide into there. So it's going to go pointy end first. I think it's better to use some tweezers so you can see what I'm doing. It's going to go pointy end first with those 2 lugs going into the 2 slots either side, just like so, and then we can push that in. So there's our turn signal gone into its bezel there, which is a nice touch. And then this is going to in turn push into there. Now let's have a look. Is there a, yes, there is a sprue gate there. So I'm going to have the sprue gate pointing inwards. So there's 2 little holes in there. You can see here this location. There's 2 little holes in there where these 2 pins are going to line up. Easier said than done. Wow. The idea is to get these 2 little pins into those 2 little holes, but the hole, the bore where the light fits, is conical. So the pins don't want to go into the holes, they just want to ride down the ramp. I'm going to turn the camera off, and I can guarantee you the second I turn the camera, there we go, it's gone in now. No, it hasn't. I thought it had, but it hasn't. Yes, it has. Those pins are coming through now. So once again, I'm going to get my piece of wood and use that to push it in, because I don't want to scratch it with metal tweezers. It's a lovely tight fit, which means it's not going to fall out, which is a good thing. You can push that in just like so. Blimey, that is a snug fit in there. There we are. So that's gone in like that. Okay, and then coming on here to 6, take the high beam lens 1J, which is this one here, the beam dish 1K, and the high beam bracket 1L. Here's my blue tack. Get the lens out of there. The dish 1K has 2 extensions. Press it into bracket 1L, aligning the lugs and the holes. So this is going to be very similar to what we did before. So we've got lugs, we've got a lug up there, we've got a lug up there, so we're going to make sure that they align. So we've got 2 pins inside. Just push that into there like so. Job done. Okay, and making sure these lugs, this lug on the outside here aligns. Push the completed light. I've got to fit the lens. Take the lens. We're going to make sure the lens has a notch on it there. It has a little tiny extended piece, and that's going to go into that hole there. And then that lens is going to push in just like so. And I don't think it wants to stay in. I probably didn't have it lined up properly, to be honest. Yeah, this one does not want to stay in. I'm not sure if it's my fault or... Yeah, something's wrong here. We've got some little tiny sprue gates sticking out here from where it's come off of its sprue. I'm just going to give those a little trim with a sharp knife. See if that helps things. As I know, there are other people on YouTube building these, building this kit, but I don't watch their videos because I want the surprise of doing it all myself. Yeah, that lens doesn't want to stay in. Okay, so what we're going to have to do here is glue this lens in. So I'm not quite sure why it doesn't stay in, because that other headlight, it fits perfectly, but on this one it doesn't want to. So what I'm going to do, I've got some glue here which is called, we can get this one, you can use micro crystal clear, or we've got this one here which is ultra glue from Mig Ammo, or you can just use ordinary white glue. Okay, ordinary white glue that you use for card and stuff. Anything that dries clear, do not use super glue. Under any circumstances, do not use super glue, because super glue will fog your clear part up and it will look terrible. So I'm just going to put 4 little drops in here. You don't need much. Just want to wipe that off of there so I can get up to the end of the cocktail stick. You don't need much, you just need 4 little drops. And that will be enough to hold that in place. So we'll take the lens, there we go, that's glued in now. And you can see, if you look closely, you can see where the glue has run around. That will dry clear, so you won't be able to see it. So we're going to have to pause that for a minute. In fact, no, I'll just put it in because it's practically finished, isn't it? So what we've got to do now, position the completed light onto the headlight hose and keeping the side lug on the light aligned as shown. So that little lug on there has to be sort of facing up at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So that is literally going to press into there. 2 holes, 2 pins. There we go. And that is one headlight built up. And you can see that's looking bloody lovely. Really nice. Okay, so leave that to dry. As I say, this stuff here, Micro Crystal Clear, is awesome. It's very, very good. It's great for jobs like that. I was really surprised that lens didn't stay in, because that one has. But I may even see if I can easily push that lens out and glue it in. In fact, I'll do that now, because it just seems so... Yeah, that's in there. I'm pushing that and it's not coming out. So that one just did not want to go in the same. Okay, so I'll see you all soon for pack 2. Thank you very much for watching. We've got the door here still, don't forget. This beautiful door. It's all painted silver inside for some reason. We've got a screw in there. That little air intake is a separate part. Look. That's all beautifully done. We've got the decal already put on there for us. Got a bit of a something going on there. I'm not sure what that is, but we'll polish that out. It's probably a bit of decal setting solution, to be honest. Yeah, that's gone with a wet finger. That's gone. Okay, but be careful with polishing this and everything, because you'll with the decal you may actually go through. So be careful, but you can actually just take a piece of tissue, dry, just give it a wipe just to get it polished up. It looks like there's from where they fitted the decal, you get the decal has glue on it, and the setting solution that they use perhaps will have glue on it as well, or make it gluey. So that's what that mark was. So if you do have any marks on yours, a little bit of wet water, just wipe it over and it'll come away. In fact, I've still got a bit of a mark there now. There we are, that's gone. Beautiful. Right, so I'll see you all soon for pack 2. And don't forget, get yourself a little jar or something, or just keep them in a bag for now. Your spare screws. I don't worry about knowing which is which, because they're quite obvious what they are, because they tell you the sizes of them. So we'll put those screws in there, we'll put that bag in there, and we'll put that bag in our spares bag. So there we go, there's part 1 done, or pack 1 done, and we've got our lovely steering wheel, and we've got our lovely headlight. Brilliant. Thank you for watching, see you all soon. Bye for now.